What's up, guys? Welcome back for another video. So, I just wanted to sit here and talk to you guys a little bit longer about supply and demand. And really, I don't really care about it. I wouldn't say care is not a good word. I don't like it because it gives you the impression that this is how the market works. And what they really should be telling you is this is how the market works in theory. In theory, if there was market competition in a free market, supply and demand would in fact work like that in theory. But just like any business or any entity in a free market, the one thing you don't want is a free market. And the reason why you don't want a free market is because that means you'll have competition. And with competition comes lower prices, and you have to work harder for less of the pie. Excuse me. Your goal is to establish a monopoly on something and completely control it, because by controlling it you have the pie. You don't get to have the piece of the pie, you get to have the whole shebang bang. So you want the whole pie, you want a monopoly, you don't want a free market ever. And so, like, when I was in school and I'm learning this stuff, I would go online and play video games, and the games I would target are the ones that have auction houses. And what I would do in these auction houses for these products that don't really exist is I would buy up and sell them. I would inject myself into the market as a middleman. And by middlemaning it, I'm taking advantage of the people that are going out and producing the goods. Like, they're going out and gathering the resources. Don't even know the value of what they're selling. They're just trying to sell it. And I would buy it for the low price of whatever, and I would stockpile as much of it as I could so I could corner it. Then I would take some of that. I would take like a small stack of it or like a little bit, and I would send it. I'd make another character on the same server, and I'd send it to that character. And I would take that product and list it on the auction house, setting a price ceiling so that the price wouldn't go any higher than this, like say like up here. And then I would sell like right underneath that price, because technically I'm not the highest price on the market anymore, even though both of them are mine. This is not ethical, mind you. It's not the right thing to do, but if you understand these concepts, you are empowered to do this. So I would set the price super, super high. And then I would undercut myself by like 5%. And I would just sit there raking it in, because here's the thing. You have people that gather resources, and you got people that produce resources. All I'm doing is sitting in the middle selling shovels, right? So, because I learned early in my, actually, it wasn't even like in school. It was more like an illustration they gave us in class. It's like, you got a landowner, you got a wealthy landowner. He owns 40 acres. He's got a gold mine on it. Then you've got all these other people that are working these farms, but they don't have any money. So what happens? Well, they go mine the gold for the landowner. He gives them a portion of the gold. He keeps the rest. They then get to buy food, and they come back and mine. And that's the basis of a market, right? And the question at the end of the illustration was, who is the wealthiest person in this market? And then I had to stop and think about this for a second, right? And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and then it finally clicked, right? It just clicked. You know what you need to mine gold? Shovels, picks, boots, belts, pants, food. So they're not just mining for the sake of mining. They need equipment too. And you're selling the equipment to them, who's then getting paid from the landowner. They're getting paid by the landowner to mine the stuff. They got gold. They need, man, I need a new shovel. Can I get a new shovel? Here, give me 20 pieces. Bam. And you just keep doing this over and over and over again. You don't have, and you're rinsing the landowner for his gold through the miners, because the miners need to provide, they need to gather their own equipment so they can go do the thing. But you're also not breaking your back to go get the gold. You're getting the money. You're getting the gold. You're not doing anything. that's that's why I like this stuff in concept, because you can manipulate the market and inject yourself into it as a middleman and provide a service that people obviously need, but no one's willing to do. And you can do this right now, right? You can do this now at your employer, wherever you work at. Because I'm certain you have a task at your job or in your industry that nobody wants to do because no one's getting paid for it, right? So what you do is you play the long con. Okay, you play the long con, because remember, since you're a labor provider, kind of like me and like most people out here, since we're not Elon Musk, uh, your labor is your primary export. So your knowledge, your skills, and your abilities are going to be how you make your money, right? Right. So if there is a task that nobody wants to do, because why not? They don't get paid enough for it. They're not getting paid for it. So what you do is you go over there and do the task. And you keep doing the task. And now you're the only one that does the task. But since you're the only one that does the task, that stops you from doing these other tasks, because you can only do one thing at a time. Now you have this one task. You go from doing 4 tasks and getting paid to do 4 tasks. You're getting paid to do 1 task. Everyone else is having to pick up your absence. They have to deal with the fact that you're absent doing the other task. And so now they're doing that because they don't want to do that, and you're doing that. You're doing the task they don't want to do, which is a benefit to them. And the trade is they get to do the other 4 tasks that you weren't doing. While your manager is like, hey, I'm finally getting this task done, I'm going to leave it alone. Well, a smart manager would do that. Not all managers do that, because not all managers are smart, unfortunately. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I just gave myself a little bit of brain melt. But what was I talking about? Anyway, so that's the thing. You want to monopolize something. And when you monopolize that one thing, you never let it go until it stops being useful. And that's why I always say this stuff doesn't exist, because once you establish a monopoly, it no longer matters. That because a monopoly is really what you want. That's why the game, like, the game Monopoly, that's why it's so much fun, because that's really what you want. You don't want a free market. Because if we had a free market, half of us wouldn't even make it, because we don't want to compete. Okay, we just want to have the money and do nothing. Anyway, that's it for tonight. See you guys later. I'm going to be making another video next week, actually. We're going to go into side hustles, because I got to make a video from my side hustling homies. I need to help them out. Anyway, you guys have a good one. See you later.